Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We're going to be going over my favorite plays at wide receiver for week 17 on Draftkings. So there's a bunch of high-end options this week, but just a bunch of good matchups, so that's how it's going to work out. We're going to start off with Antonio Brown. I'm expecting the Steelers offense to smash in this spot, and it starts with Brown coming off a huge game in New Orleans. The Bengals defense is a goldmine for fantasy owners, so let's get one of the best players in the league. Not much analysis needed here. He's a great play this week. And Juju Smith-Schuster, his teammate, he tweeted that they lost the game because of him, which is not true, but he will want to avenge himself and is in a great spot to do so. So I really like Brown and Juju, and I like pairing them up with Ben Roethlisberger this week. Next guy is Tyreek Hill. If you just look at the game logs, it looks like he got shut down by the Raiders last time they played. That really wasn't the case. Mahomes just missed Hill on 2 deep touchdowns, and it could have been a huge day. Next up is Julian Edelman. It's slot receivers versus the Jets. They absolutely get killed by slots this year. They're giving up over 23 points to the position, and Edelman is the only reliable Pats receiver, and they're implied about 30 points, so I have to think a lot of that comes from Edelman. Next guy is Julio Jones. He's a Tampa Bay killer. Seriously, if you check his game log versus them, it's amazing. Not to mention that Tampa has a really bad defense. So in 13 games against Tampa, he has 93 catches, 1,557 yards, and 10 touchdowns in like 140 targets. So he really, really kills Tampa over his career. And in the same game, I like Mike Evans. I love this game for fantasy, so we just have to love Jameis's number one option. Atlanta's also 27 DVOA versus wide receiver ones. And going on to the mid-range, I have Robert Woods. He's been one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league, and he will avoid Richard Sherman in the slot. There is a risk that if they get up big, they could pull starters. So he's a kind of a risky play. But if that's the case, I think Woods would have something to do with it. San Francisco is 31st DVOA versus slot receivers too, so it's a great matchup for him. And if you're willing to outweigh the risk-reward, I think he's in an amazing spot. Doug Baldwin, 6,100. He has looked great these past 2 weeks and made some incredible catches this week against the Chiefs. And he was like an inch away from 2 touchdowns, and he made an amazing sideline touchdown grab. He's going to avoid Patrick Peterson most of the time in this game in the slot, and I love Seattle players at home in front of their 12th man. So I really like Doug Baldwin. Last guy in the mid-range is Sterling Shepard. There's no Odell this week. No Odell this week. So you know the drill. And with Dallas possibly resting starters, this is a great play at the price going against backups. And into the bargain bin, there's not really much this week, but I like the 2 Bills receivers, Zay Jones and Isaiah McKenzie. They're 2 cheap guys going against a bad pass defense, which are 25 DVOA versus pass. And PFF also has these 2 guys as their top wide receiver cornerback matchups of the week. So something there too. All right, guys, that's all I have up for wide receiver. I'll be having tight ends and defense coming out later. And thanks.